Everyone, welcome to today's Q&A session. So today it's more of a conversation, right? So there is no right or wrong, and I cannot emphasize that enough. There is no black and white here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up the stage, read you the comment, and give you my opinion. And I want to hear from you in the comment section down below what your thoughts are. I do read every single comment. So before I joined the military, I had my own business, and it failed. I had $200 in my bank, joined the military, and every month I've been saving money and investing. So now, 3 years and 3 months later, I have $45,000, and I will continue to save aggressively and invest aggressively so I can have a lot of money. So after I get out of the military, I can have my own business again and live life to my own definition, to my own accord. Maybe I did not explain in my previous videos this enough. In my blood, my personality, I do not like working for somebody else. Right? The idea of somebody telling me, hey, you come to work at this time, you dress this way, you eat at this time, and you have to make these type of numbers. I do not like that kind of lifestyle, and you have to live like that for 20, 30, 40 years, right? That just does not match with me, right? And that's the reason why I'm saving a lot of money so I can do my own thing after I get out, right? So Michael's comment was, so you save almost your entire paycheck each month. No wonder you don't like the military. You don't have a good quality of life. America, whether you think so or not, has geared most of us to consumerism. Everyone wants gratification. The only way to do so is through spending just as much as saving. But it is your life, so prove me wrong. So Michael, if I do understand what you said, I do agree with you to some degree, right? There is no right or wrong, like I said. I do agree that some people, their coping mechanism is spending, right? The military is stressful, right? So the way they cope with the stress is either through materialistic possession. I saw a pair of Yeezys today, and in the parking lot right now, there's a Maserati, right? And a bunch of Mercedes and BMWs. Some people, materialistic things are their coping mechanisms, and you know, they're able to get through this military experience, and they define their quality of life through materialistic possessions, right? And some people are all about traveling, right? They spend money for experiences, and that's how they define their quality of life, right? So Michael, I believe from your opinion and your perspective, so that's how you define your quote-unquote good life, right? That's how you define your quality of life, is through spending money on either materialistic possessions or being able to travel. But where I'm coming from is save a lot of money so I can have my own business, right? So I can live life on my own terms. So if I could give you an example, imagine a long hallway of fire. Let's say it's 100-foot hallway just filled with fire, right? And you sign your contract saying, I will go through this hallway back and forth for 5 years. I know that's a little bit of an extreme example, but let's say the military is this hallway of fire, right? And you go through it, and it's burning, and it's painful, and I'm screaming like, ah! And then after you get out, they pay you a certain amount, right? And Michael is saying, hey, to cope with it, right? Spend a little bit and save a little bit, right? Whether it's you want to buy ice cream, or whether you want to buy, you know, some fire-resistant stuff, and then go through the hallway again. And you go to the other side, and they pay you again, and you buy some ice cream or buy some lotion, some skin, whatever the case may be, to be able to cope with the stress, to be able to cope with the amount of pain you are enduring when you are in the military, because it is stressful, right? And I do understand that concept. Where I'm coming from, this is a very Stoic versus Epicurean concept. Stoicism, basically, I go through the fire, right? I endure the pain, and I get the money, and I say to myself, you know what? I never want to go through that again. I have to go through it as soon as I get this money, but I'm going to save it and invest it, because there's going to come a time when I never have to go through that again, right? I'm going to go through it as many times as possible, as necessary, until I don't have to go through it ever again. And this hallway of fire is my analogy of having to work for somebody else. Right? That is painful to me. So to me, Michael, that being able to live life by my own terms in the future, being a stoic, right? That's the good life for me. And I am willing to be patient enough I am willing to endure this pain for 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, however long it needs to be. I am willing to endure this pain. I am willing to suppress my desires to buy a car. I am willing to suppress my desires to buy good clothes, right? I'm willing to suppress the temporary desires for my greater future endeavors, okay? So I can be happy 10 years from now and not just cope 20 years, 30 years, 40 years down the road, okay? And I know that's a little bit of an extreme example, but that's the thought process that I'm having. So Michael, like I said, there is no right or wrong. So the way you explain this, right, that's your definition of living the good life, right? And the way I'm living is how I define the good life, being able to work for myself in the future. And not everybody wants to do that, and that's perfectly fine. So I hope I explained that right, and I thank you so much for this question. It is generally a good question, and it is a good conversation, and it's a good topic to discuss. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a great Navy Day, guys.